Welcome to Surrey Build Weekly, episode 1. Good morning, it's Monday the 13th of January, second week back, and last week was the first week of our new YouTube channel, and we started obviously recording some different content for you guys, and I must say I have kind of struggled with filming myself and gathering the content. It's not something that I'm used to, and filming myself feels a little bit awkward, but I'm muddling through it. If you don't push yourself and push your boundaries, then you're not going to achieve what you want. So the whole point of this YouTube channel is to give you something different to what's already out there. There's a lot of building companies that are already doing this sort of thing, but I feel our company is rather different to a lot of other businesses, and I think during the course of the YouTube channel you guys will see what we're trying to achieve, and hopefully you can learn something from us and put that into your business to enable you to have a more streamlined, more profitable, more stress-free business. Today we are on our way to the West Molesley project this morning to meet the tree surgeon. We're going to go through what we discussed with the client on Friday so that he's fully aware of what is going to happen on the project. So we're at East Molesley, just waiting for the tree surgeon to arrive. Guys have been very busy in removing all the hardcore and concrete and slabs that were on existing patio ready for the foundations for the extension. Today we're going to remove this tree here, and this tree here, so that we're ready for the digger to come in and remove the stumps. There's two that are in line with the extension, and then this one further out needs to be replaced with a silver birch as part of the planning conditions, which we'll probably do a different video on to show you what it takes to get a property like this through to planning. We're in a flood zone because of the river just over the fence, and we're in a conservation area, so this one has taken quite a long time to have an approved planning application on it, but we'll do another video on the planning side of this property. We always use tree surgeons for the removal of trees at projects. Now, they're not the cheapest, but as you can see from the footage, obviously a lot of plant machinery kit is needed, and it is a highly skilled job, so we would rather employ a third-party contractor to undertake those works. Good morning, Tuesday. We're in Guildford today and about to go into a potential client's house down a road that we've probably done 6 or 7 loft conversions over the past couple of years. We've got this one here in particular. So this was a full hip to gable. The existing property prior to us starting was very similar to this, and then we've taken the hip out, so we call that a hip to gable. So that benefited from a hip to gable rear dormer, which consists of a ensuite bathroom, walk-in dressing room and master suite, and then the project that we are going to see is just down here. So you could probably just see in the background, we've got Guildford Cathedral. So we've got quite a lot of projects that overlook the cathedral, which is quite nice at night because they light it up. So yeah, but the project that we're going to see today is a rear extension, loft conversion, and them knowing us previously are probably is a good strong lead. So we're quite excited to meet them, go through their plans. As with any new job, We like to give them as many options as we can and discuss all the possibilities. We also like to discuss budgets. Budgets are quite important at this stage because we offer a design and build service. We want to make sure that what we're designing is achievable in the client's budget. So we have many discussions at the start of projects to basically make clients aware of what the costs are for what element, and we try and break that down into different sections so that they can see what certain elements of the project are going to cost, and that way we can design something that fits with their budget. So whether they have a specific budget for glazing in an extension, sometimes glazing can be quite expensive. So we look at that budget and tailor that design focus on their budget. So yeah, once we've been inside, we'll update you and let you know how it went. Thanks. So we're just in the property now, having spoken to the client regarding a few options on the rear extension. And whilst I was out here, I just thought I'd give you a little insight into what we're kind of looking at. So we're looking at a 4-metre rear extension with doors probably on the side here, relocation of the shed and a new patio area there. This is going to give the client inside a full kitchen dining space. We're then going to look at a loft conversion similar to next door with a rear box dormer. It's always very important when discussing layout options that you have a clear definition what the client is trying to achieve, because my way of living for me and my family will be different to how they live and how they want to live. So we make sure that what we're designing fits with their lifestyle. Now, if you've just moved to a property and you are in the new house and you're living a way that you wouldn't normally live, then we wouldn't consider that your lifestyle living. So it's very important to remember, if you've just purchased a property, that you're not going to live the same way in that layout that you will in the new extension. So this potential client needed to rethink her thinking, because she was living a way currently that she wouldn't normally live anyway, with boxes everywhere, and you know, the kids were all crammed into one section. So we changed her thought process on that and made sure that the options that we were giving her would satisfy her need. So we've designed a functional kitchen dining area that will be open plan onto a rear patio that would be to the side of the new extension. We've inserted a utility room, which will be very useful considering she's got young children. We've also designed her layout in mind for the kids as they grow. So very small at the moment, but ultimately there is going to be lots of toys and puzzles for the kids to play with. So we needed to make sure that there was enough room for a playroom as well, which is going to be separate to an entertaining room, stroke kitchen diner. So overall, a good project. We also looked at the loft conversion whilst we were there, and it's very similar to a existing project that we previously done in terms of layout. So we're going to probably use them floor plans to show the client what's possible, but also give her another option as well. So we're going to do a proposal for her, which is a cost analysis of the project, which includes a full plan and design package. That way she's got the costs for us to basically take that project on and deliver her a finished project. So yeah, very exciting. Generally those types of cost analysis take us a week, where we look in detail the costs that are associated with the items and the materials and the labour that's associated with that project, and then we're able to share that with the client. We are now on our way to what we call a pre-start meeting. Now, pre-start meetings are generally a meeting once the client has signed off the project, paid a deposit, and has planning permission in place. Therefore, we are ready to start the project. Generally, these meetings are around about an hour long, but some can vary in length, and they're generally about how we're going to facilitate the job, what's going to happen at what week, when the client needs client supplied items on site, how that's going to affect our scheduling, our programming, whether there's any additional works or things that have come up since planning was approved. So yeah, again, we're in Guildford. We're about to go into this project. So hopefully we'll be able to share with you some information from that. The Mount. So this is a new project that we are starting mid-February. So here for pre-start meeting with Sarah.
Hello.
This is a slightly different obstacle challenge here, given that the road is a incline and the property is situated quite far back from the road via these steps and raised platforms. So when looking and quoting at jobs like this, we need to allow for the difficulty in site access, and also prepare a management scheme for how we are going to work with the council and the guys on site to enable us to complete the project. So yeah, it's quite difficult, but we will manage something and get there. So cheers. I've just finished the pre-start meeting with the client at Mount Project. Very productive meeting, and we now have certain client fixtures and fittings agreed for the project, which enables us to plan accordingly a schedule. It's very important when scheduling projects that you have certain key dates booked for the client to make decisions by. So when we're looking at these projects, we like to sit down with the client at the pre-start meetings and ascertain exactly what the client needs to supply as a client supplied item, and make sure they are fully informed of the dates that these need to be on site by. So this client in particular is supplying a kitchen, his own glazing, sanitary ware, tiles for the bathroom and for the kitchen flooring, and also he's supplying the landscaping items needed for the landscaping project there. So we've gone through all of those sections. He's shown us exactly what products he likes and what he's trying to achieve from the project. So then it's up to us to make sure that he's informed whether we see any negativities with the products that he's picked. So there was a few items that we suggested he either changed or considered the downside to them items. So he's fully informed of any pros and cons for those items, or in any additional costs that arise from fitting those items. So that's generally what pre-start meetings are for. We then have all that information and we're able to then produce a fixed timeline and schedule of works based on those items. So over the coming week, me and the girls in the office will be making sure that all those bits of admin are in place and ready for us to start the project mid-February. So we give ourselves generally a month's time to make all that process happen, instruct building control and make sure that we're fully ready for the project to start. So yeah, very productive. We also had an opportunity to meet the neighbours of the project. So again, very important to establish an early relationship with the neighbours This enables us to make sure that they're kept in communication with anything on the project that may hinder their access or make their lives, not necessarily helpful. Embarking on a project yourself can be stressful, but it's also stressful for neighbours if they're impacted in a negative way. So we wanted to make sure that they're aware of any key dates that things might be happening, when scaffolding's going up, when the steels might arrive, when concrete lorries are going to be on site, and also when we need access, because generally you share a party wall with a neighbour, and this particular project does. We need access to their garden to make certain changes to that party wall and make sure that we can underpin that wall, which will then mean that some of their garden is taken up with protective measures. So we just wanted to make sure that they were aware of them. So just 20-minute conversation with that client and exchange of numbers and introduction to yourself and the business is going to really benefit that neighbour and the relationship that you have with them. So we always like to do that on projects. Now I am going over to another potential client for what we call a follow-up meeting. So a follow-up meeting happens once the client has received our cost proposal and knows exactly what the cost of that project will entail. And a follow-up meeting is a good way of us personally meeting the client and making sure that what we've costed for is correct. Absolutely blown away at the follow-up meeting I've just had with a potential client. Sometimes you meet potential clients and they might not be what I call the right fit. So it's very important that when you connect with a client and share the same passion and same ideas that they wish to have on their project, that you kind of hold on to that relationship and make sure that you massage it and get them over the line. Because for me, it's about the relationship as much as it is the project and the cost and the budget and the profit. If you don't have a great relationship with a client and the client doesn't have the same ideas or the same level of passion that you share for that project, then technically it's a downfall and a hindrance. So it's always refreshing when you meet a potential client that shares such a passion for what we can achieve on their project. So all being well, we should have that project in the bag, as they say, and move forward with them for the build. That particular project is a design and build, again, which I would probably say 80% of our clients are design and build. And there's a real benefit from that relationship in a design and build, because you're basically giving them all the potential out of their project from the early outset, fixing their costs and making sure you're delivering a project that you can right from the start. Whereas if you embark just on what we call a build only project, we're coming in a little bit later, which means that, we necessarily haven't had the ideas and the flow of ideas with the client to make sure that the outcome is as good as it can be. Some of the build only projects that we embark on, we actually have mid-design changes which happen during the process of the build, which ultimately either result in a delayed timeline or more costs to the client, which ultimately we want to try to avoid when embarking on a project. So very positive. We're at the end of Tuesday, I will see you tomorrow. Good morning, internet. It's Wednesday morning, 6:45. We're currently in traffic on the way to the Hurst project. Today we've got the diggers and dumpers starting to excavate the foundations and drainage for the project. So I'm going to meet the guys there, make sure they're fully aware of what's going on, and mark out the foundations with them. We've then got a lot of preparation to do for the weekend. So at the weekend, we are running a show stand at the Home Build and Renovate show in Farnborough. So a slight hindrance is that it's the 18th and 19th of January, which hasn't enabled us to obviously have a lot of time to prepare since being back from Christmas. So we've had a lot of work to do to prepare that. We've actually built a show stand, which is quite exciting because I'm not sure of another loft conversion company that's built a stand at a show before. So hopefully we'll be able to give an insight to some potential clients of what that looks like, what it entails, the different kinds of insulation and the build up of, you know, general roofs, which is obviously a nice detail to discuss with clients, to show them the U values and how well their homes are going to be insulated. So previously, before Christmas, we designed the show stand with our in-house architects and put together some 3D visual models, and now we're kind of bringing that to life. So it's slightly changed over the course of us completing the construction of that, but I'm very happy with the outcome, and we should be able to bring you some footage from the show at the weekend, which would be quite nice. Today we have a couple of follow-ups as well with potential clients. So they're quotes that have gone out before Christmas. Clients have had Christmas to mull them over and look at them in depth, and now we've been invited for what we call the follow-up meeting. So yeah, all in all, it's hopefully going to be a good day, and I'm very excited about the rest of the week. So stay tuned. So we're back at Hampton, guys, and look, the trees are all gone, which gives the client so much more skyline and light into the property. So they're really chuffed about that. So yeah, the guys have been busy here. We've been prepping for the diggers and doing anything where we think the diggers might struggle to actually access. Now you can see the drive's been fully boarded, so that we can get what we call the muck out onto the drive, and have muckaways, which are grab lorries with cranes, and they're designed to obviously grab the muck and put onto the lorry. This is cheaper than skips, so we prefer this method if we are able to, so that the spoil is removed from site. So inside, the guys have been busy digging these foundations by hand. We chose to dig these foundations by hand just because, if you can see in the corner, there's an electricity pipe which runs to the fuse board there. So we would have dug that by hand anyway. We've got special meters that tell us roughly where those services are into the property. So we would have dug, you know, at least a meter probably by hand, and then this would have been done with a digger, but because it is so small and access isn't great, we decided to dig that by hand. We're actually matching in with where an old wall used to be. So the guys have basically shaved down next to the foundation so that we know the depth of the existing foundation, and updated the structural engineer so that he's able to confirm that that foundation is suitable for the new loads that we're going to put on this outside wall, which are a couple of steels for the loft conversion. So that's all been checked and approved. The guys have also started some framework for a ceiling within the playroom. We haven't pushed this up as high as we would probably have liked, but the client was quite keen not to change existing services. There's quite a lot of pipe work up to an ensuite there, so we're kind of governed by those details. Obviously trees have been removed, so stump has gone on this particular one as well, because this is exactly where the foundation lies. So very important for that to be out of the way. We've had a lot of breaking of concrete, again in preparation for the extension and foundations that are going through here. The guys have also disconnected the existing drainage. So originally we had a drainage pipe coming across here and down into an outside toilet, and that is generally going to be the line of the new extension. So we had to make some temporary changes. So we've now rung that further outside of where the new extension will be and into an existing manhole, and then plied the manhole just so that no one falls in that, and it's safe to walk across. The new extension line is going to be here. So once we've dug that, we're then able to work out where the drainage is going to run to the kitchen. So yeah, all in all, a lot of progress made. Now going to see the client and update her on the progress and tell them the next steps. So yeah, cheers. Mission digger is completed at Hurst project. Now we actually use a third-party contractor for all groundworks, and the reason this benefits us is because we actually find that a lot of our projects need different machinery sizes. So one project might be small for access, and we need a small machine that is compatible for that project. And then we do developments. So a development is obviously not hindered by space and needs a bigger machine. Now, Luke, the third-party contractor who we use, actually owns a wide range of plant and is able to offer a higher driver side, which is very useful for us. In the past, we've hired machinery from hire companies and either instructed a driver to come in and drive those machines for us, or we've got one of the guys that works for us to jump on those machines. Now, whilst that sounds like a cheaper option, by the time you've kind of hired the machine, pulled the guy off of what he was doing to jump on a machine, and you know, then that project then suffers because someone's not there. So it actually means that we can actually do more work, because you know, we don't need to send our guys to a project where the ground workers are working. They can be at another project doing drainage and building up damp courses, and then we can swap over. So it works quite nice. We also found in the past, when we were hiring machinery, that the machines would go back. We would be charged for not washing them down. We would be charged for the fuel that was used, and it'd be more than what you'd pay at the petrol pump. It would also, you know, might have a slight bit of damage, then they would charge you for that. So it was actually working out very expensive to hire the machinery. We also looked into purchasing the machinery, but by the time you purchase the machinery, you have the financial cost on top of that, whether that be, you know, finance and the additional interest, or whether that's using your cash flow and, you know, removing it from the business to buy the plant. I felt that it was more of a hindrance. So we own a couple of machines, but we don't have a wide range of machines. So that's why we prefer to use Luke. We're very happy with the service that Luke provides and what he offers us as a business. And he is widely known in our area. So if you need any projects done that you think you might benefit from someone like Luke, his contact details will be on this video. We are now on our way to a follow-up meeting in Chesington, and I've briefly spoke about follow-up meetings prior to this video, but I'd like to just go into them a little bit more detail. Now, how we work as a business is an original lead comes in. We actually then don't book to see that client, but we book what's called a discovery meeting, where we allot half an hour to spend with that client over a Zoom call, where we bring up their floor plans, show them what's possible with what they kind of have in mind, and speak about what the project would entail. We then produce some not vague costs, but costs based on previous projects around their size or around their specification, and that gets then sent to the client. If they're then happy with those costs or with that scope of works, we book what's called a follow-up meeting. So the follow-up meeting is then a chance for us to initially meet the client, go through the scope of works, and make sure that what we've costed for is in line with how the property looks when we're actually there, and also that there's not other options that would be achievable for the client. So this works quite nice for the loft conversion side, because generally there's not a lot to see in a loft conversion. So we actually save quite a lot of time in not going to appointments. Now, for a business of our size, we've actually got two loft conversion companies. It's Surrey Lofts and Sussex Lofts. So, generally we have around 50 inquiries a week, and for me or the team to visit 50 properties a week would be kind of unrealistic and a cost that we don't really want to spend on these projects, considering we haven't actually got any formal engagement from the client for our services. So we quite like to get a cost to the clients very early on, so they're informed at what these projects may cost, because a lot of people don't know how much a loft conversion is. So by us sending that initial quote and having that initial discussions, we're able to have a base quote and a figure that the potential client is then able to work around and see if it fits with their budget, see if the ideas that we've produced work for them, and then if that is where they then want to move on from, we then book a follow-up visit. So you probably find that we get 50 inquiries a week over both platforms, and we're probably doing around about 10 follow-up meetings. So we're saving quite a lot of time in meeting potential clients, and therefore our costs are significantly reduced on our overheads for potential clients, which as a growing business is very important. We look at overheads all the time, and we'll probably talk more on overheads because it's where I feel businesses lose his overheads. So that'll probably be another video coming up soon, but yeah, we're on our way to Chesington, and hopefully the potential client is eager to work with us, hence them booking a follow-up appointment. So fingers crossed, and we'll see you soon. Cheers. Thursday afternoon, 4:30, and today has been quite a stressful day. Not with any projects or any guys, to be honest. It's more the show pressure and making sure that the show stand is exactly how I want it. With any show stand and with any exhibition, if you've done one before or been to one, you want to give your best example of the business at the show, and make sure that people are seeing a good side of you. So me as a person, I can be quite particular about finish and how I want things to look, and I've got quite a good attention to detail, I feel. So yeah, I'm probably slightly a bit more fussy than what some other people would be, but that just in general is my nature, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So I've had to pop out from the office and the yard, and I went to a existing client. We actually went to Brook Farm, which is a project that Sussex Lofts are doing and undertaking. We're just at the stage where the client needed a little bit of input from me on the ground floor. We've done a loft conversion there, but we're also opening up the ground floor, and they need a little bit of input just on the flexibility of their kitchen and how things are going to work in that area. We actually discussed whether pocket doors were an option or doors that just swing open into the kitchen and onto kitchen cupboards. So we went through the pros and cons of them, and exactly what the difference is, also what the difference is in the cost, because anything like that can affect the client's budget. So Yeah, that's all in hand, and the guys know exactly what they're doing. Over the next week, we'll be plastering and second fix electric. So we're at that stage now where once this kind of element is done, we can't kind of make any changes easy, and it's going to be very difficult. So it's very important at those stages, as a project manager, you step in and make sure that you're holding the client's hand. So with that all complete, I'm now on the way back to the yard. I've got some guys still there finishing off some bits on the show stand and some other technical bits that we've got going on for the show stand. So we've then got to load the vehicles and make sure that they're all ready to go tomorrow. We're actually going to be at the show from 8 o'clock because we've got forklift lorries booked, and we want to make sure that we are presenting the stand as best as possible. I also don't really have a full day tomorrow. I want to get some proposals out that I need to before the end of the week, as I've promised potential clients. So I always like to keep to my word and try to deliver where possible. So we will try to keep that, and I will see you later when I'm in the yard. Cheers. So we're just in the yard finishing off the display stand for the show, which is coming along nicely. The guys are just moving some bits around. So this is the display stand that we've built. So we tried to show multiple layers of a project, whether that be from the skirting, the plastering, the painting, the plasterboard, the insulation, to the timber structure, the battens, slates, ridge tiles, and even down to, we've got a mini brick wall here with some guttering. We've actually also laid some floor just to give an indication of what is possible. Velux window. But the guys have probably been working on this for over a week now, in between projects and making sure that other things are being done for the show. So we also have a light box that's arrived this morning. So we've got to just design something for that, but we went for a proper light box with the ability to light from the front and the rear, which is going to probably look quite nice. So a few more bits to finish off, and then we will be loading the vans for the show. So yeah, cool. Cheers. We have had a Zoom meeting with the structural engineer to make sure that the structural calculations we had for a job that we're about to commence is in line with the existing property. So we generally try and check these at the pre-start meeting to make sure that walls and floor joists are all facing the correct way on the plans. If they aren't, we have a Zoom call with a structural engineer where we can do a video share, so share screen, where the drawings are produced on the screen, and we can basically tell the structural engineer any changes. I feel it's very useful for that. Now we're actually a design and build company, so most of our projects we design in-house and then design with the structural engineer. Because what we don't want to do is be in a position where a structural engineer has over engineered something if it doesn't need to be like that, because that ultimately is going to affect the client's budget. So design and build is very useful for a client, because we actually do all the measures and safe checks that technically they're not over engineering their project. And it may be that because we've been doing it so long, there's different ways of putting steel beams in and bearings, so we're able to know from experience that actually if we just moved that steel away from that window by 300 mil, we wouldn't need a structural post underneath it, because the existing wall can take that downforce and that load. Now I always feel that a structural engineer will always over engineer everything, and it's up to you to test his boundaries as such, and make sure that he's doing right by us as a business and the clients. So I find the Zoom calls very useful. It's a chance for us to speak to the structural engineer and make sure that what we are building on site is correct. You also saw in a previous video, Hurst project, the structural foundations. Now, it's exactly the same concept with that. If we encounter any issues during the project where it comes to structural engineering, we will always make sure that we have a Zoom, update them, make sure that they're writing the right annotations on the drawings, and making sure that we have the correct specification and calculations for the job. So today we've got a very busy day because tomorrow we are going to be at the Home Build and Renovating Show, setting up our stand. So today we've basically going to pack all our kit up, make sure that's all loaded onto the vans. We're going to go through a checklist. We've got a lot of admin to do for various different bits on the company, so we'll be doing that as well. So yeah, hopefully I'll update you with some footage of some of the setup for the show stand. Hello, it's Friday and we are on the way to the Home Build and Renovation Show in Farnborough. We left the yard at 6 o'clock this morning and we're probably about 10 minutes away from the venue. So very busy day ahead. I've got two guys from the construction side with us to help prepare the show stand and get that ready for the potential clients tomorrow and Sunday. We're also going to be joined on the stand by our sales team at Surrey Lofts. Now I'm very fortunate to have two amazing women that work in the sales department at Surrey Lofts. We've got Sarah and Mary, and Sarah's been with me from the start of the journey since we purchased Surrey Lofts about 3 years ago now, and Mary joined shortly after. Now they are very good at their job and they see the vision and exactly the direction that we want to take the company, which is very refreshing. If any of you out there know how hard it is to recruit certain people for roles, we are very fortunate that we have them two women. So we're probably going to bring you more from them over the course of our journey on YouTube and show you an insight into women in construction, which will be quite exciting. Again, something a little bit different that we're bringing to YouTube. So yeah, today we're going to set up the show stand and we're going to have a small brief over lunch with certain things that we want to probably get done at the show stand over the coming few days. So yeah, hopefully we'll bring you some footage of the show stand and us setting up. So yeah, I'll catch up with you a bit later. Cheers. Here we are, the Farnborough Home Build Show, and there's lots going on and we are just setting up our stand. Never done an exhibition like this before, so it's all new to us, but we're finding it very interesting to see what everyone's putting together. So here's our stand and we're nearly there. There's a few finishing touches. We're just finishing off some painting and making sure that everything looks as good as it can do. We're on stand A112. We picked this size stand because I felt that it gave us the most exposure, but also the most reasonable price. You know, it's never cheap doing these exhibitions, and I felt that we should keep, again, our overheads down, but try to get as much exposure. So this kind of size stand gave us as much flexibility for that. We opted for a light box and some roller signs. We've got a TV there that will be rolling out a video around the company, how we started, what we've been through the last couple of years. We've got a few finishing touches on those to do in terms of electrics and making sure that all looks good. We've got lots of leaflets and bubbles for kids, and the girls are busy prepping gifts boxes. brochures, bags. We've got small high-vis for kids as well. I think they're in here, which will be quite nice. So hopefully we'll be able to give out some goodies. So yeah, all in all, productive morning. We probably want to try and be done here by 12 o'clock if we can, so that we can finish off the rest of the day, update a few clients. So yeah, cheers. So it's just gone 4 o'clock and I have just left the home build and renovation show in Farnborough. Our show stand is looking great and eagerly anticipating potential clients over the next couple of days. It's actually turned out slightly better than we first envisaged. There's still a few tweaks that I would probably make for the next shows, but they're very minor, and to be honest, probably no one would recognize what they are, because it does look great and the team have put in a lot of hard work and effort, of which I'm internally grateful for. So yeah, very excited about the next couple of days there. It's also coming to the end of the 2 weeks that we've been filming and gathering content from the projects and potentially this YouTube channel as such. I'm enjoying it more and more, and I'm becoming a little bit more accustomed to the way that films should be produced and that content captured. So hopefully our videos will be getting slightly better as time goes on. So yeah, all in all, I think a good positive week. It's only second week back from the Christmas break, of which we was off for around about a month. The company actually shut down from the 5th of December to the 5th of January, which is rather nice for everyone to get good family time. Considering the construction industry is hard when you're working in people's houses, and you know, technically people want their houses back for Christmas. So we made the business decision not to basically take on any projects that wouldn't be completed prior to the 5th of December. So we all got a nice break. We're all refreshed, ready to go again this year, which again I think has helped everyone slightly mentally this year. They've all come back a little bit more happier. So yeah, very exciting, and that brings me to the end of Friday, end of week 2. If you're liking what we're doing, please subscribe, like and comment. It's always nice to hear people's comments, positive or negative. You know, ultimately I'm always up to hear what people have to say about what we're doing. So it's 5:30 and I have just left the home build and renovation show on the first day, Saturday, and I've been talking for almost 9 hours now. So I'm a little bit tired, so you might have to bear with me, but it's actually surprising how relentless it is to actually occupy a show stand and be talking to different prospective clients about their builds, and also giving them the expertise that, you know, probably a lot of stands wouldn't give necessarily the information that we give. Now, I like every client to be informed of pros and cons, and probably at this point we might spend a little bit too much time with prospective clients on our stand, but I always like to inform the clients of pros and cons. So today we had quite a lot of inquiries with clients that have got their architectural plans but not necessarily submitted them to the council yet, which I think is brilliant, because that gives other people a free idea basically to look at those plans and say, actually, do you know what, guys, that's not what I would do, and this is what I would do, and these are the reasons X, Y and Z. And actually some of those reasons are generally costs, but also we spoke to a couple today who just bought a bungalow, embarking on an extension, and they've been living in the property for around about 3 or 4 months. They've got these plans done by a local architect, and on the face look pretty good, but actually asking them a few questions and trying to find out a little bit more information about the property, I was able to technically redesign that to actually fit their life better. And this is so important, because I actually asked them the question, where are you currently spending all your time? What rooms do you like the most in this property? And they said, actually, yeah, you're right. The extension that we've designed at the moment isn't even in an area of the property that we like. There's no sunlight. There's no garden space for us to walk out onto. So these are all very important things when designing a project. And you know, perfect example of that today. And we've kind of redesigned it, rejigged it about for them. Hopefully they can speak to the architect and redesign that before it goes into planning. We've arranged a visit to the property to try and help them with that. So that's one inquiry where we can really help the client understand the benefits of a design and build. Now, obviously, it's too late for them, but you know, these are what we keep saying to potential clients. You know, this is why design and build is better. This is what we offer. And I feel that we're not just a building company. We are actually a collaborative company that's going to work with them to get the best possible project. And that is so important when spending money on a future home that you want to live in for a period of time. So we probably have, I would say we had in excess of 160 to 200 people at the stand over the course of the 7 hours. And we've gathered, I think, around about 80 to 90 inquiries. Now, they are potential clients. They're not just, you know, it's not just a gathering data exercise. They are genuinely good leads and strong leads that we hopefully have captured. They might need a little bit of work now going forward, and you know, we're lucky that we've been able to ascertain exact information about when they're starting their project, what kind of drawings they want, whether they don't need drawings. So we can kind of now focus our sales targets with those clients in a specific way, depending on what they need, which is good. The girls were fantastic today, and we've given out lots of promotional stuff. It was really nice to see lots of young people at the exhibition, which is great because, you know, it's their home too, and for them to feel part of the experience is great. So the high vises went down a storm, lots of bubbles around, and the whole buzz around the show was really good. So feeling really positive about tomorrow, and actually spoke to the organisers about doing more. So hopefully we'll be able to form a bit of a collaboration with a home build show for future shows. And it's something exciting that we kind of touched on today with the organisers. So hopefully we'll be able to talk more about that after the show. But yeah, all in all, a great day and really excited for tomorrow. So I will see you later. Have a good evening. So day 2 at the home build and renovation show. And this is just a little sneak peek of what it's like before everyone arrives. Before the madness of yesterday starts again today. Hot taps are quite a unique thing. Lots of companies are doing them now. So it started off with a company called Kuka, and now there's multiple companies doing them. They also can give you, so they give you boiling hot water, filtered water, and they can also do sparkling as well. They're around about £1,000 to 1,800, something like that. But they're very good, and they're quite safe as well. So people do worry about you know, kids burning themselves on them, but there's actually a safety feature on the hop, which, unless you show your kid, is quite hard to understand. So very good product. Lovely bespoke kitchens. oak framed buildings. Timber framed houses are becoming more and more popular, not just because of the speed, but because of the thermal value that they can give without taking up space. New Wave, so this is a different concept to a standard bifold door. They actually all open individually. It's a product that we've been trialing on a couple of projects, and I have to say I am very impressed with it. So it's one of our partner companies, and we will definitely show you some more on them. So this is an interesting product from this company. Now, underfloor heating's a big thing, and there's multiple different options on it. So there's an overlay panel, which is a panel that sits on top of your existing floor. There is a screeding product that basically would go down before we screed a new extension. But this is a product for concrete floors that already exist. So they use this machine here, and they basically map out a plan of where the pipes are going to go, and they then cut a groove in the existing concrete floor with that machine. And it looks something like that when it's done. So they cut the groove in and see into the concrete floor, and then you can put your finished floor over the top. So it's quite a good product for retrofit into existing floors. Not quite sure on the cost of that product. We've only done it I think on one project before. I kind of think that the overlay system works best, only because you're then getting some insulation into the floor as well, whereas most existing concrete floors don't have any insulation. So the overlay system is an insulated panel that sits on top of the existing floor, so around about 20 mil, and that gives you some U value in that existing floor. So MVHR systems, very popular now, and for passive houses. It's something that most new builds have. Some beautiful kitchens on display. It's pretty amazing as well to see them fit this whole product in one day. I think when they were setting this up, there was probably around about 12 people running around like lunatics, but they managed to get it done, and it looks great, to be honest. So yeah, that's... So SIP panels, they're a Celotex or Kingspan product with ply either side. So they look like that. And they come in a kit format, delivered direct to site, and it would kind of look like that. Mostly a new build product. These radiators look great. So a foundry, they can kind of make mostly anything from stainless steel. So radiators, they look great. They can kind of make anything. Aluminium radiators, steel radiators, copper baths, which is quite cool. And then we have us. So, the Farnborough Home Build and Renovation Show is now officially finished. We are on our way home after packing our stand up, which was pretty hard work. It was very difficult because there were so many people trying to get their stand down and packed away and onto vans and lorries. So you're not only packing your stand down, but you're also fighting around everyone else trying to pack their stand down and make their way to their vehicles, which was like a mousetrap. It's the only way I can describe it, because you are literally climbing over people's stands and through the vehicles, and so it's quite a unique experience if any of you ever get the chance to have that experience. So honestly, blown away by the reception that we received at the show. The invaluable knowledge now that we've also acquired from the show from other participants. So, you know, when speaking about existing shows that are not that show and other in the group of shows that the Home Build and Renovation offer, why each show's different, you know, what kind of footfall to expect, where the best places are to be in their experience, where to do the best marketing, how to market it. It's honestly, it's a minefield, and I did not appreciate how much extra knowledge I would also receive from the show, which is great. Everyone we met was very welcoming, would share their ideas. We met some great contacts for the future, not just in our expertise, but also people that you wouldn't normally come across that we came across. So honestly, I feel that it's been a valuable tool to our business. It was extremely emotional with regards to how well the team done. You know, we've come so far in the last 2.5 years from when we picked up this struggling brand to now being able to market it and take it to a home build and renovation show. I think it's excellent what we've achieved as a team, and I definitely gave all the team members involved a pat on the back. We also managed to probably speak to around about 300 people, I would say, over the course of the 2 days. And we've got around about 150 potential clients that we've now got to try and work with. Now, we've also tried to categorize them clients, you know, whether or not they're a project for this year, whether they're a project for next year or the following year even. But we've tried to label those clients in terms of their category, when they're wanting to proceed with the work, whether the funds were in place, whether they've got architectural plans or not. So hopefully now we can sift through those leads in order of priority. Send an email, follow-up email to everyone that we met, thanking them for their time and letting them know of our processes. But honestly, I could not be happier at this moment in time about how the weekend went. So yeah, I've been talking now for probably 10 hours. So, the show's taken it out of me and the rest of the team, and we're all pretty tired. Standing on your feet for up to 9 hours is quite tiring. So, early night for me, I think, and back in the office tomorrow. So, all in all, a very good weekend. I'm very happy. So, all good. Thanks.